All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of 100 Ways to Make 100K. That was Marko Agbaba, a young real estate developer out of Windsor, Ontario. Now, I hope you guys are just as excited as I am to follow along his journey for the next 20 years or so, because I have a feeling he's going to be doing some crazy things.
Hey man, how's it going?
Good, man. How are you doing? It's always nice when I see you, Javon.
I appreciate you, man. It's fantastic. It's great to see you, Marko. But maybe you could introduce yourself. What's your name?
Yeah, my name is Marko Agbaba, and I'm a real estate developer here in Windsor, Ontario.
Awesome, man. Well, I got a couple questions for you if you could be so kind to spare.
Hey, man, I might be able to give you 15, 20 seconds. That's it, though.
After that, you're going to have to charge me, huh?
That's it. That's right.
All right, so I got a quick question for you.
Yeah.
Do you remember the first time that you made 100K in a year?
First time I made 100K in a year? I do, actually. I was about 22 years old, last year of university. I was leasing rooms for $30 a unit. Got a contract to do $3K per unit for pre-construction, and so I made 100K pretty quick.
You made 100K? Okay, so what were you doing, sorry?
I was selling pre-construction condos. So I was leasing them first, and then I asked, why can't I just sell these things? So they let me sell them, and they paid me $3,000 per pop, so it added up pretty quick.
Dude, at 22 years old, how do you even get into something like this?
Well, I was already a leasing agent for the company, so I was working under property management. So for you kids out there that are young and hustling, always try to go into the companies where there's some room to grow. It's always a good move to do it.
So what do you think a good question to determine if a company has room to grow is?
Well, you got to see it. You got to see the vision, right? And you got to believe in the business. So if you go around and you see, in my case, for example, I saw cranes everywhere and I saw growing demand for student housing. So I knew, for example, we're going to be having to build a lot of student housing. So I saw the vision of the business and they were running it properly. So jump on board.
Interesting. And just so that, people get to know you a little bit better,
Yeah.
What school did you go to?
So I went to Lazare School of Business. It's Wilfrid Laurier's business school in Waterloo.
Awesome. Marko, thanks so much for sharing that, man. So another question for you. Do you remember the first time you made 100K in a month?
100K in a month. I've made 100K in a month selling real estate not that long ago, maybe about a year and a half ago. I think it was either January or February 2021. I made 100K in 1 month, and I was pretty pumped up about that.
What? So let's break that down, man. How long were you doing real estate at the time? Like, you must have done something crazy. Some realtors don't ever make 100 grand a month.
Yeah, you know what it is, man. It was just brand. It just happened to have a good brand around me just because people saw what I was doing with like the investment side. So it just made sense for them to use me as their investor realtor. So honestly, I didn't really do too much, man. Did some YouTube videos, some social media, but I wish I could tell you it was a lot of hustle, but I think a little bit of luck is on my side.
Interesting. So where can people dive into the YouTube of Marko?
Yeah, YouTube, just type in my name. You're going to have to spell it for them, but Marko Agbaba. You guys make sure to type that in, subscribe. Don't be some freeloaders, you know what I mean?
Hey, man, we'll put it in the bottom so that people can spell it. Okay, so like at the time, right, what did you choose to set up your real estate brand as?
So at the time, I just wanted to really showcase what I was doing. So instead of like preaching that I want to sell properties and be your agent and stuff, I just kind of showed what I was doing and talked about what I was doing. And people liked what they saw, so they wanted to work with me for it.
And what type of stuff were you doing at the time? Maybe you could give us a little sneak peek?
So if you take a look behind us, we got some forms right here. We're about to pour some concrete. So originally, I first started like doing like paint, flooring and stuff like that. Then you do a basement unit and you add some kitchens. And then next thing you know, you're building houses and then you're building 40 bedrooms. So it all comes together like that.
What? That's just it, right? Just step by step.
That's it, man. That's it. As easy as that.
All right. So when did you start transitioning from a realtor to a developer? Or were you a developer first?
You know what? My main goal was always to be an investor. So when I first came here, I kind of hit financial independence before I was even a realtor, just with a couple cash flow properties I had. So just to gain some extra income, that way I could invest in more properties. That's why I was a realtor, but I've always been investor and developer first.
Dude, what's this financial independence stuff that you're talking about? What does that mean?
Financial independence is pretty much that you don't have to work, okay? So working becomes an optional thing for you. So whether it's your business or passive income, real estate, for example, maybe dividends on a stock, you have enough that supports what you need to live, so you don't actually have to check in for work anymore.
Interesting. Okay. Well, Marko, maybe you could tell us a little bit about the first time you made 100K in a day. Has that happened yet?
Yeah, it has happened actually. So the first time I made 100K in a day was I had a property. It was a double lot, and what I did was I actually ended up severing that lot. So I guess as soon as I signed that document, the value of the existing house actually didn't change at all, and then I got the full value of the lot. So I made a little bit over 100K that day.
Okay. You got to break that down. What did you even, how did you find this? How did you learn about this? You got to walk us through the story, man.
Yeah, so it was actually on MLS, man, and it was just right when COVID started, so everyone was so scared. Nobody wanted to touch a piece of real estate. So the property came on MLS. I felt like a pretty low offer for the property. I got it. Nobody really knew that there was a double lot in it, so that was kind of an advantage for me. So I kind of touched up the house, painted it and stuff like that. Didn't really spend too much money. Split the lot. The existing value of the house actually went up by $90,000, so I really got paid $90K and got the free lot, but we don't need to go into all of that. The main point is 100K in a day.
That's crazy. So Marko, Where did you start learning about this stuff? And if someone wants to get into it, how could they learn more?
So for real estate development itself, you know what? You kind of learn as you go, man. I didn't really learn too much before I came here. I knew how the business worked, but like scaling a portfolio and stuff like that, I feel like if you just want it bad enough, you're going to figure out a way to do it.
Interesting. So what advice do you have for the younger Marko? You know, if you were to go back a couple years, maybe before you even got into leasing, what advice would you give yourself?
Do exactly what you did, man. You know what I mean? Do exactly what you did. Enjoy it while you do it. Make sure to enjoy the process. Life is pretty short. That's the main advice. Main advice for somebody else that isn't me. Don't try to flex is probably the biggest one, the biggest mistake that people make. You don't need the new car. You don't need the penthouse right off the hop. Drive something economical. Live below your means until you start getting that cash flow in, and then live as stupid as you want.
That's crazy. So Marko, where would you say you're at now? What types of things are you doing? How would you measure your current progress towards the mission? We'd love to know how you feel about where you're at.
Yeah, well, you know what? At the end of the day, you always feel like you can do better and you can do more, right? So I don't know. You know, I kind of look around at what I'm doing and I think that I could do more and I could have done better with, you know, some of the options I had. But, you know, at the end of the day, you know, for my age, I think I'm doing pretty well. But yeah, that's probably what I'd say for that.
And if you could give one resource where someone could learn something, you know?
A resource? Man, my YouTube channel. Come on, Javon. You know the answer to that. YouTube Marko Agbaba. And just tune in and you'll learn everything you need to know. I actually mean that though. Like if you actually watch through those videos from start to, you'll have a pretty decent financial knowledge.
Awesome. Marko, thanks so much, man. We appreciate you.
Man, I appreciate it so much. Thank you, Javon.
Cheers, brother.
Cheers.
So thanks so much for tuning in to another episode of 100 Ways to Make 100K. I'm your host, Javon.ca, and I'm looking forward to seeing you on the next episode.